You've got a young group and you've got older, and this is wonderful.
But anytime at Mount Hope Farm, and we have to thank Mount Hope Farm folks for letting us do this. And the reason we're doing this here is the Bristol Land Conservation Trust, of which I'm a member, and we have several around here with us tonight, is that we have a conservation easement on the west parcel on the other side of Metacom, or Route 136. And we hold a conservation easement on that 10-acre piece of property. And that serves as a buffer. At one time, I believe it was all field, but it's really just a buffer for Mount Hope Farm. And in the fall time, it really turns beautiful color. So it gives us a little autumn color for us when you come down Route 136. I'm Raymond Payson. I'm with the Bristol Land Trust. We're about a 30-year-old land trust, but all volunteer, small group. And we have several properties, and as I say, we have a conservation easement on the west parcel of Mount Hope Farm. Mount Hope Farm is 128 acres. How many have been here before? So a good number. And I hope you, if you're local, Portsmouth, Warren, Barrington, Bristol, you'll join the Mount Hope Farm. It's a wonderful piece of property, and they're trying all new things. I think they just expanded the parking lot here. People come here to walk their dogs, and they're very generous in letting people do that. Well, if you go to landtrustdays.org or the Rhode Island Land Trust Council.org, you'll find out the many activities that the various land trusts in Rhode Island are hosting. And believe it or not, a lot of people have followed us for this Moonrise Walk. We started it back in 2012 for the first time. And ever since that year, a lot of other land trusts are following suit. And it's a hit and miss thing. But we'll have fun tonight. We'll get to hear some of the common calls of nature. Every time we've done this, we've had a unique experience. One year we had a beautiful sunset followed by a beautiful moonrise. Tonight it's going to be sort of a little bit spooky maybe because of the clouds and the fog rolling in. Yeah. Some of you may be able to tell ghost stories. We're going to proceed from here down the road to the Cove Cabin, and there's some snacks and munchies and some drinks there. This is actually tonight, or last night was the full moon. It's the full Sturgeon moon. Most of the full moons have names given to us by the various American Indian tribes or Native American tribes. Who knows what this one is? It actually has several names. Sturgeon, or the green corn moon, or there's one more. I think it's like the whole grain moon. So it depends what part of the country you come from. But for the sturgeon folks, for the fishermen, it's when the fishermen best caught sturgeon up in the Great Lakes and larger lakes around our country. I'm also on the Bristol Conservation Commission, as is Jay Maceo, wherever Jay is. Jay. And we both sort of help out with conservation practices in Bristol. Does anybody have any questions about the Rhode Island Land Trust Council? How many are members of Land Trust here? Wow, that's interesting. Okay. Well, I refer you to the Rhode Island Land Trust Council.org website, and that'll get you to Land Trust Days, and it runs to the end of September. And we have, I think, 40 or 44 land trusts in Rhode Island. And in the western part of the state, there are some wonderful paths and walks in the larger properties there. And it's not just walks, there are more moonrise walks. There are some eating festivities, almost anything, some musical activities. So I think you'll get a big kick out of some of the things they do. I did ahead of time feed all the lions, tigers, and bears, so you don't have to worry about them. But you may see some turkeys wandering around. They're all over the state. Deer, and you may hear a coyote. I have yet to hear a coyote, but they are around. And red fox may also go by. Okay, so we will proceed downhill.
Yeah, this has been definitely.
We just turned around.
Maybe.
All the way up. And we didn't stop at the So it says over the tent, it's saying.
It's still
All
below
right,
the
and it'll
horizon.
come this way.
Right here.
And then come back down this way.
It's called Skyview
Light.
Light. That's
Alright.
free.
The light one is free.
Yeah.
And that'll show you where the moon's going to rise.
It shows all the planets and the constellations.
Oh, cool.
And it's really nice.
I had it for a while. I got rid of
Do,
it.
do you think all the native people who lived here for 10,000 years had this?
What is
Yeah,
that?
they did. It was in here.
Yeah, all right.
On the side of the moon.
times for that. We'll go.
Anybody else iced tea? Okay. Iced tea? Sure.
I had one.
Okay, so that's what. And that's what I'm going to.
Oh, wow! Okay. Wow.
It's going away. It's gonna poke again.
Yeah, you can hear them.